In Austin, we're lucky enough to have, the Cactus Cafe. It ranks up right up there with the Bluebird in Nashville, and so it's kind of just a really awesome spot for that type of music. Cactus Cafe was a place that I frequented as a songwriter, as a musician. It sucked me in, and I think it's kind of where I really learned to appreciate a lot of the singer-songwriter, the bare bones, standing there with a guitar or sitting there with a guitar and just singing your songs. Well, I mean, it gives you energy as a songwriter when you go in there and you're looking at the walls, you're looking at the folks, the pictures and the signatures and just the ghosts of that room. They do get inside of you when you're singing, and they help you along. They'll give you a little push. Absolutely. I've got to quit drinking and put down this phone. I need to get used to being alone. And I'd like to keep on feeling this good. I just can't. I would if I could. I need to make time for being myself, but I can't get used to life on the shelf. And I wish I could be less misunderstood. I just can't. I would if I could. And over I fall down again. And over the bourbon and gin. And I want to move on 'cause I think I should. I just can't. I would if I could. When I was a little kid, I had a lisp, and I used to talk like that. And my mom brought me here to the University of Texas. First session we went to, they handed me an album, Tom T. Hall, Songs for Children. And on that album was a song called Sneaky Snake. And I went home and I learned Sneaky Snake, and I learned how to sing it without a lisp, and my lisp was gone. I knew right then, the power of music. I have to stop wondering about the reason I'm here. Gotta start thinking and set down my beer. Gotta stop lying, I've gotta man up. Gotta stop staring down into this cup. And over I fall down again. And over the bourbon and gin. And I wanna move on 'cause I think I should. I just can't. I would if I could. No, I can't. I would if I could. Lord, I can't. I would if I could. That's my first experience in how it can actually heal people. I've seen it heal a lot more complicated things than a speech impediment since then. So a good song can really take you up, take you down, change your attitude, change your emotions. It's really powerful stuff.
All right.
I remember this one.
Yeah. This one's called Old Song. It's not an old song. It's about an old song.
I remember recording it over at Ron.
Chris Beal helped me out a lot on that record, and it's available for download and purchase. And this song is on it. It's called Old Song. And you know, it's just kind of about digging out of a rut sometimes and hanging on to something that you love. Did I mention I need attention? In my absence, I want to be. In my prayers, I'm always asking about the road ahead of me. And the line I try and walk to be good to the other guy. Sometimes I fail almighty, sometimes I fail to try. But tonight it's just me and this old guitar, singing like I'm a great big star, hanging on my own words, whatever they might be. It's just an old song, just an oldie, just an old song, sticking with me, just an old song that I like, hanging out with me tonight. When I stop, I never know which way I'm gonna go. Just move the end to keep going with the flow. In the rut I sometimes fall, and it's hard digging out. So I set this guitar down and I choose another route. And the days are long and the nights are slow, but I like this room with the lights down low. Never known if I'll stay or go, but I'll always go. It's just an old song, just an oldie, just an old song, sticking with me, just an old song that I like, hanging out with me tonight. And my friends when I can, but mostly I'm a lonely man, never knowing if I'll take a stand or where I'll go. It's just an old song, just an oldie, just an old song, sticking with me, just an old song that I like, hanging out with me tonight. Just an old song, just an oldie, just an old song, sticking with me, just an old song that I like, hanging out with me tonight. This one's called Star, and it's kind of about not being one, but thinking you're going to be one, but then realizing maybe you're not. But then you never know. I just want to live my life, satisfy my appetite, trying not to make too light of those who want me to fall back down. And I feel bad for all you do, hold me up and pull me through all the messes I have made for you. Why are you still around? How could I have known I wouldn't be a star? But here we are, And how could I ever get it right? So far off course tonight, no end in sight. I love you, but you, like me, we've got too much history, making babies, living out the dreams that others have made for us. So honey, give me one more chance to do my best to dance the dance. Honey, give me back the pants, or I'm getting off this bus. How could I have known I wouldn't be a star? But here we are. And how could I ever get it right? So far off course tonight, no end in sight. I'm old enough to see the truth. My mind is buried in my youth, still living day to day. So come out and play. Come out and play. Hey, hey. How could I have known I wouldn't be a star? But here we are. And how could I ever get it right? So far off course tonight, no end in sight. How could I have known? How could I have known? How could I have known I wouldn't be a star? Chris Beal, y'all. Man, he covers up a lot of my mistakes over here. Didn't end up being a star. Didn't end up being a rock star that I planned on being when I was 21. I continued to do music. Life does get in the way. You got to get a job, a real job, a day job, if you will. But I kept doing the music, and it got to where work, children, family, I just couldn't manage a band as well as I really wanted to. So that's when I kind of went over to the songwriting side, because that's something I could do independently. It's a lot more fun, I think, than it was, when in my 20s, even in college. At least there's not as much pressure. But it's harder in the sense that, you got to get out there and play shows. You still got to work, and I have another job. So it's a balance. It's a balance. But I think it's easier now than it was back in my 20s and 30s. At least there's not as much pressure. But just kind of resolved, and like we were talking about, happy to be where I am and still writing and still writing good songs. Speaking of fun, this one's about the time I forgot my ex-wife's our anniversary. God, yeah. See, that's how bad I am. Anyway, it was like midnight, the night of the anniversary. I think we're both in grad school, so I kind of had an excuse, but.
So this was after the entire day had
entire
gone by?
Day, yeah. This was, midnight.
For clarification.
Yeah, thank you. And she had gone to bed, so I just assumed I was going to get it in the morning. So I stayed up an extra hour and wrote a song. And this is all it was.
It's such a sweet love song, too,
It starts.
Wait till you hear it.
It is. Somebody didn't get it. God bless her. Yeah, I didn't. Did I mention we were in grad school? I think we had an infant, too. Okay. Every time you spill your morning coffee on the kitchen floor, I love you more. I love you more. And every time you jam just one more piece of junk in our junk drawer, I love you more. I love you more. And every time the peanut butter drives upon that butter knife, I'm so glad that God selected you to be my loving wife. And every time you hold my nose together when I start to snore, I love you more. I love you more. Yeah. Every time I get that grocery bill from Tuesdays at the store, I love you more. I love you more. And every time my socks are sorted out of order in my drawer, I love you more. I love you more. And your favorite station always plays the bad hits from our youth. When I ask you about my bald spot, I can trust you'll tell the truth. And in case you ever wonder, or you're just trying to keep a score, I love you more. I love you more. Yeah, in case you ever wonder, or you're just trying to keep the score, I love you more. I love you more. Thank you.
I guess you have to be from Texas to know about Luby's, but they have this square fried fish. And every time I go into Luby's, I get the same thing. Even though you walk in the front door of Luby's and you want to get something else, you see everything. But by the time when it comes right down to making a decision, it's always the fried square fish.
So this is about that. This is about square fish. Well, my lunch break is coming up, and I need to get out of this pickup truck, sit down and take a load off and have some tea. Well, my buddy wanted enchiladas. I wanted something more like my mama's. Didn't see how on earth we would agree. But in Texas, there's a place for that, a place called Luby's, and it's a fact they got Mexican and Mac, whatever you wish. But I get the same thing every time. You're never gonna change my mind. So crispy, so refined, square fish. Love has four corners of 90 degrees, crispy and softened with macaroni and cheese. And I go in with an open mind, but I just can't resist. I always come around to square fish. There she was at the end of the line, couldn't decide what to dine on. She passed up all the salads without a care. Yeah, the girl was cute, but I had to know which way this beauty was gonna go. Thinking about roasted chicken, maybe just based on her hair. But she passed it up, the turkey too, and I'm trying hard not to stare. That's when she picked the fish that is square. Love has four corners of 90 degrees, crispy and softened with macaroni just can't resist. I always come around to square fish. Yeah, I do. My jaw dropped open, suffice to say, I think I fell in love that day. I fell in love with that hot little dish. Yeah, the girl was cute, but I'm talking about square fish. Love has four corners of 90 degrees, crispy and softened with macaroni and cheese. And I go in with an open mind, but I just can't resist. I always come around to square fish. I always come around. I always come around. I always come around to square fish.
She was real. I met her in line, and she
Thank y'all.
was this cute woman, and I watched her order, and she ordered the square fish, and I had to meet her, and so I introduced myself, and we sat down and had lunch together. Oh, I never saw her again, but she was from Lafayette, Louisiana, which is really hard to get to from Austin.
Well, I'm gonna change my name to Cody, and my last name to Green, just so I can make it in the Texas music scene. 'Cause Yows ain't gonna cut it on the music picker chart, next to all them Josh and Codys breaking all the girls' hearts. Well, I love my parents dearly, but their name I could forget. With names like Randy Rogers, I just can't help but get upset. And I know that I would have been a star if they'd only called me Kyle. I'd load up on my Prevost bus and go on tour in style. So I'm gonna change my name to Cody and my last name to Green, just so I can make it on the Texas red dirt scene. 'Cause Yows ain't gonna cut it on the music picker chart, next to all them Josh and Codys breaking all the girls' hearts. Yeah, they are. Well, I guess I'm stuck, shit out of luck, 'cause Yows just ain't that cool. Last in line all the time, both now and back in school. But I'll finish first, though my name's the worst. I always have to play when I'm sitting here drinking beer, picking songs at Cactus Cafe. But I'm gonna change my name to Cody, my last name to Green, just so I can make it on the Texas music scene. 'Cause Yows ain't gonna cut it on the music picker chart, next Next to all those Josh and Codys, breaking all the girls' hearts. Next to all them Josh and Codys, Zachs and Lukes and Jasons and Colbys. But lately it's all Josh and Codys, breaking all the girls' hearts. Thank y'all very much. I'm Greg Yows. This is Chris Beal.